Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in to the live stream. I was able to purchase the little ESPN Plus thing. If anyone is interested in me using these metrics, I'll be doing a bracket tomorrow using these. I don't really know if it helps all that much. I mean, I kind of thought they were going to show us, like, statistically how many times, like, the percent people picked a certain bracket. But I don't know, it's weird. But I can pick a. This is how you actually pick the bracket using the ESPN Plus thing. It's like this. You go 1 seed 16, and then it just auto does it for you. We've got more Duquesne talk. You can't escape the Duquesne love. Yeah, I mean, I don't know about the Disney Plus. I don't really care, man, honestly. About Disney Plus. I don't watch any of that stuff. I agree. Duquesne has been through a lot. They deserve to go out a Sweet 16 run. Just to they've been cyberbullied by this chat. It's sad to see. I mean, I'd like to see them shut this chat up, honestly. Am I watching the Howard Wagner game? Well, no, I am not. I could take a look at it. I actually had the NIT here. There's a lot of NIT games starting, but we'll take a look at the 16v16. And it is the Wagner group. Up 19-10 over Howard. It's meaningless. It's irrelevant. These first four matchups, maybe Colorado is the one team I could see doing something. Yeah, I do have a I do have a group, brother. My group is, let's see how many people are actually in my group. I've gotten a lot more brackets now. This is my coin flip bracket. I'm going to have to label these. And then this is the other bracket I did last night. This is my main bracket. This is the analytics bracket. So yeah, this is the group. And we do almost have 1,000 members in the group. It's very competitive. Unfortunately, I can't see your guys' picks. Kind of ridiculous, but that's how they do it. UConn loses to Auburn, can't go back to back. I think that's got to be the pick, man. There's way too many people picking UConn. If you're picking UConn to win the national title, I would change it. You're not getting any type of value at all on UConn. Guys, even if UConn wins the national title, 26% of people filling out brackets picked UConn. So your bracket still might only finish in the 89th percentile if you correctly pick the national champion. Is that really... It just doesn't seem like good value. I actually think Arizona is probably the best value. Did I hear Mike Williams signed with the Jets? I saw something about Mike Williams and the Jets. I haven't been following a ton of NFL news, but I did see something with Mike Williams going to the Jets. He's always injured. He's a bigger receiver. We'll see, from Clemson. Well, yeah, everyone picked UConn. I mean, freaking 1/4 of the country picked UConn. You picked Houston. I think we got good value on Houston, man. Maybe not great value. I mean, they're still the second most picked team. Let's see the analytics here. Well, UConn actually came down a little bit to 24.7. Houston, I do think the best value is probably Arizona. Probably Arizona. Go Colorado State. Yeah, that is very disappointing. That game's not on until... Game's on at 9:10 on frickin' True TV. Looks like Wagner is running it up. Good for them. Wagner, who are they going to face? But again, this is this is technically a bracket I can do. I'm going to do this tomorrow, but I'm also probably going to do it on stream. This is a paid-for thing where you can compare all this stuff. I mean, obviously it doesn't matter with Stetson and UConn, but Like, say I take UConn, obviously, that's done. Now it gives you the numbers. It does like Northwestern in terms of the power rankings. So it likes Northwestern. I don't know what this decision tree is. Identifies data trends with predictive significance. Yeah, but what does that represent? So it's saying they have a 66% chance to win? Well, then why did it give Stenson a 10%? That doesn't make any sense. You really would not have been mad if Duquesne was a 13 seed. Yeah, it was just they were overseeded significantly. They probably should have been a 13 seed. Colorado or Boise State? I like Colorado a little bit more than Boise State. You lost your home and one of your cars because of crypto failure. Living in a library. Well, that's a new... You're living in a public library? My goodness. The crash of what? Did you buy in 2021 at all-time highs? I mean, there's a million ways you could lose. So I don't know. Who is your Cinderella? Maybe a team like New Mexico. But yeah, so like when you look at stuff like this, this is not really giving me a proven way to win bracket pools. What even is this? It's taking me to another site that I have to pay for? Oh, this is absurd. Team rankings. It's taking me to team rankings. ESPN takes me to team rankings. We'll go with FAU today in that one. San Diego State, UAB. Yeah, this is one where UAB is just not going to... Just based off of their regular season, they caught lightning in a bottle in the tournament. Their analytics suck. They should not be in this tournament. You got Auburn versus Houston in the championship with Houston winning. Is that solid? That's very good, man. I don't know about Auburn in the championship. I would have Auburn losing to Arizona. Well, I mean, who really knows? But I'd probably have Auburn losing to Arizona and then Houston beating Arizona if I went that route. Let me know if putting NC State over Texas Tech is a great choice. Listen, that's a 6v11 game. It's a toss-up. I like Texas Tech better, but it's a toss-up. Going with Northwestern. Yeah, I picked Northwestern. In my main bracket, I picked Northwestern. It wasn't secure and you got scammed in a crypto group. On Telegram, I'm guessing. Ceiling for Iowa State. Absolute ceiling for Iowa State is probably Final Four. I don't think they're going to make it to the Final Four, but I have to admit that's probably their ceiling. I mean, they do have a great defense. But again, with teams like Iowa State, it's like, I'm just not seeing the upside. Like, they're the perfect team to get upset. Now, maybe they don't get upset, but... Do the first 4 games matter tonight? Well, there's only 2 tonight, but you mean just the first 4 in general? Not really, man. They really don't. Maybe Colorado. Colorado I could see going on a run. Colorado could beat Florida and then they could beat Marquette. Other than Colorado, I don't think Virginia's doing anything. Obviously the 16 seeds, I mean, you can't really say anything. There's nothing to talk about with the 16 seeds. I should do a bracket with the chat deciding who wins. It would be impossible to do something like that. I would have to have a poll on every round. San Diego State, UAB. We'll go San Diego State. The metrics say it. Auburn, Yale. I mean, obviously, you know, Auburn is going to be the heavy favorite there. I mean, I guess they do have some in-depth analysis here. A little bit. BYU versus Duquesne. It's very lopsided. For this is a crazy 6v11 game with how lopsided this is, honestly. It's just very hard to pick Duquesne. It's very hard to pick Moorhead. I could see Drake. I mean, this is a good matchup, man. Very good. And it's crazy. Washington State actually, they do have better analytics. They just got overall better analytics, but Drake is the 1.5 point favorites. Because I picked Washington State in my main bracket, please tap the like for my, yeah, you know what, guys? There's only 20 likes. It's disgusting. I'm going to get off. I'm triggered over it. Am I getting the Panera gift card? If you want me to get it, I'll get it. Yes. It was 90 degrees in Texas. Well, I could never deal with that, man. Is this my bracket to win a pool? No. Guys, if you want to look at my bracket, I don't know. It's got to be one of the most viewed videos, for brackets. I have a video up. It says perfect, and then it's my predictions. And I put it up on Sunday night. Just go look at that. Those are my actual predictions. These are just other brackets I'm doing. I purchased this ESPN Plus. And, I mean, I would say Washington State is the good value play based on the analytics. You got to go Iowa State here. It's making me play-in winner, Howard. They think Howard's going to win in the play-in game? Well, we'll go North Carolina, Mississippi State. All right, we'll go Mississippi State here. St. Mary's, Grand Canyon. I guess St. Mary's. I mean, Alabama versus Charleston. Like, you can see Charleston's way better defensively than Bama, but Bama's good value, really good value. New Mexico is great value. You got to go Baylor here. Don't overthink it. Dayton versus Nevada. I think Nevada's probably going to win, but I picked them in my main bracket, so I'll go Dayton. Arizona, Long Beach State. You got to go Arizona. Thoughts on picking BYU beating Illinois? Oh, that's a good pick, man. BYU is a really good team. They're a really good team. I am 6'12". Guys, I thought I was 5'10" for the longest time, and the realization that I'm 5'9" is a tough pill to swallow. At least I'm not 5'3". Auburn could low-key win it all. Listen, Auburn, they have the analytics to win it all. They actually don't profile very great in terms of winning it all, though. Come on, Houston, Longwood. Like, what is this decision tree? This doesn't make any sense. How would Longwood have a 10% chance to win anything? Is it just default? But you can see seed difference, 99%, simulation, 100% chance win rate. And by the way, guys, if you want to know what I'm working on, well, that's not... See, this thing is just... Yeah, just keep me logged on. It always auto-logs me out of that PDF thing. This is what I'm working on. I just started doing this. I don't know if I'm actually going to do it. But this was my plan, to do a 96-team bracket. I have to seed all these teams. I'm just using the exact same seeds that they were. But you can see the expanded bracket. I'm going to have to reseed the entire bottom of the field. And basically move all of the mid-major champions down significantly into the 80s and 90s. It's a 96-team bracket. It's what they're pitching. And then I would have all these teams. I would just simulate all these games, obviously. But... it's like, well, will we get a 96-team bracket? I don't know. But there is that. And you got to go Houston here. Nebraska, A&M. Yeah, I like Nebraska. More people are choosing A&M over Nebraska. That surprised me. I think Nebraska is better, honestly. Don't fall into the James Madison trap. Well, it's a 5v12 game. You could call any, with that mentality, you could call any 12 over 5 a trap. How would Longwood have a 10% chance? Throw them against Duquesne, and that starts rising. That's a low blow. That's not appreciated. Morehead State, that's the 14 seed. I don't like Morehead State, mainly due to their matchup against Illinois. If you want me to pick a 14 seed, I think Vermont is probably who I would take. Who would win, Longwood or Duquesne? Come on, Duquesne would win. Stop. You literally never finish brackets. I don't know what that means. I've done like 5 brackets in the last week. Who agrees Auburn will beat UConn? I mean, man, I understand you like that. We don't need to be told about it every 3 minutes. Duquesne, yeah, but let's look. They're like, I think 22-13. They caught lightning in the bottle. It is what it is. So did UAB, but we're not picking on them. Wisconsin, James Madison. All right, in this bracket, we will go Wisconsin. In my main one, I have James Madison. Duke versus Vermont. See, this is the problem with these analytics. Obviously, they're not going to have any upsets, but it's like, I can't even see a... I guess they want me to look at the ranks and stuff and try and find, opponents' points. All right, we'll go with Vermont there. We'll go with an upset. Texas Tech, NC State. I do like Texas Tech, but I'll go with NC State in this one. Kentucky versus Oakland. Oh, they love Kentucky. It's because of their offense. Florida versus... Yeah, we'll go Colorado. Marquette, Western Kentucky. I did pick Western Kentucky, but in this one, we'll go... Brother, a mascot bracket is not happening. All right? I need to stop seeing that comment, man. Seriously. I don't want to be mean about it, but it's like at some point, Wagner is... Are they destroying Howard, really? Well, I mean, good for them. What a boring game this is. The NIT, the CBI are on. LSU beating North Texas. Cornell beating Ohio State. Boston College, Providence, Georgia, Xavier. We will see what happens with... Actually, I'm just going to... Well, we'll actually see if this is on... Oh, these games don't start until Saturday. Purdue versus probably Montana State. Purdue will win, obviously. Utah State versus TCU. I'll go with TCU in this one. Gonzaga, McNeese. I will go with Gonzaga for that. Kansas, Samford. I'll go Kansas. South Carolina, Oregon. 1 point spread. I'll still go Oregon. Creighton versus Akron. I think this could be an upset. I'll go Akron. Texas versus the play-in winner. I'll go Texas. Tennessee versus St. Peter's. You got to go Tennessee. Do teams actually try in the NIT? I mean, yeah, they do. They do try. Some teams aren't even playing in it, though. That's the problem. Who do I have winning the CIT? Dude, I don't even know who's in it, honestly. I didn't... wait, who's the 1 seed in that? Isn't there like a pretty good 1 seed? I think there is. Yeah, Virginia. I don't know how Virginia made... Thoughts on Utah State versus Purdue? Oh, I like Purdue to win that game. I would be shocked if Purdue did not at least make the Sweet 16. My 5 minutes are up. Yeah, that was a long 5 minutes, Stenson. My goodness. UConn versus FAU. Yeah, I mean, look at this matchup. It's completely lopsided. You'd have to go UConn there. San Diego State versus Auburn. You got to go Auburn. I don't see how you can't. Illinois versus BYU. Yeah, I'll go BYU here for an upset. Washington State versus Iowa State. I'll go Iowa State. North Carolina versus Mississippi State. I'll go UNC. St. Mary's versus Bama. This time I'll go Bama. New Mexico versus Baylor. This time I'll go Baylor. Dayton versus Arizona. I'll go Arizona. Sorry, man, but if it's... Yeah, man, you can go play Madden. You can go play Madden. Is ESPN Plus worth it? Not from what I've seen. But it is only... I think it's only $11, though. I mean... Oh my god. One of my mods changed his name to Duquesne Lover. Dude is lost his mind. Thoughts on Creighton to the Final Four? I don't like that pick, honestly, man. Do a bracket where you try to lose. Yeah, I mean, I've done those in the past. You just pick all the underdogs. Illinois, I like Illinois. In my main bracket, I have Illinois beating BYU, but I could see BYU winning as well. It's a good game. Illinois BYU reminds me of Tennessee versus Texas. It's a good second round game. G, that was a great moment. That was G. That was your Hall of Fame moment. Are you kidding me? You're a legend. I thought you were gonna have to transfer because of that. the world famous headbutt. Dude, that was when you headbutt someone, there's something special about that. There's something just so hilarious about headbutting something or someone. Which 8-9 seed has the best chance to make a run? Honestly, I don't think any of them personally. But the problem is they face a 1 seed. Well, here you got an 8 in Nebraska. You know, you can't really predict an 8 or a 9 over a 1. It's very hard to do that, you know? ESPN Plus is totally worth it if you like NHL. Well, yeah, that's the thing is I really don't follow NHL, so, you know, I'm sure it does have some stuff. This is kind of cool, I mean, because it does have these, like, hypothetical matchups. It is kind of cool to where it shows you, like, this could potentially be the matchup, like Wisconsin versus Vermont. We'll have Vermont going on a Cinderella run. NC State facing off against Kentucky. We'll have Kentucky. Colorado will have going on a Cinderella. Purdue versus TCU. We'll pick Purdue. We will have here. We'll have Gonzaga going. That's good. And then we will have Akron going on their Cinderella. This bracket will have Texas winning. All right, I did pick a lot of upsets there, probably. Wagner is doing really good. I know that good for the Wagner group. You like Nebraska as an 8 to make a run? You know, I think Nebraska is a feel-good story. They're normally not good at basketball. So I can understand what you're saying. Beating Houston is tough. You have TCU beating Purdue. I mean, with the way Purdue has played, it's understandable in the tournament. It's understandable. Am I still going to do videos on 9/11? Listen, I'm going to come out with an update on my channel where I'll talk about that. The problem with I made a bunch of 9/11 videos. There's only so many videos you can make. I mean, how many videos have I made? I understand, you know, there's a lot more graphic stuff to talk about. I really can't talk about any of it. They just demonetize everything now. There's nothing to talk about to where I can have it monetized. You can only do so many hypotheticals. ESPN Plus is great for women's softball. LMAO, yeah. If BYU beats Illinois, can they beat Iowa State? Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, they could beat Iowa State. Think about the momentum they would have, and Iowa State, their challenges on offense, they could. Oregon, NC State, New Mexico, the 11 seeds. Yeah, there are, I would say, I'm not going to say Oregon's guaranteed to win, but I think Oregon and New Mexico are very likely to win. Duquesne, obviously, you know, just kind of an outlier. NC State's, they're kind of a lightning in the a bottle type team. What happened to the game? Well, listen, if you want to watch a 16v16, you can go run to your TV. Should Ohio State have made the tourney? They did not have any of the metrics. I understand they played well towards the end of the season, but they weren't even in consideration. Which 1 seed got the worst draw? I would say probably UConn, considering they're the #1 overall team in the country. I going to do a video on the decision on the Texas border? Probably not. Pac-12 is a lot stronger than people think, way better than the Mountain West. Yeah, well, the Mountain West has the little engine that could type mentality. It's like, oh my God, the Mountain West, they've got 6 teams. They've got 6 teams in the bracket. And it's kind of like it's a victim mentality. Meanwhile, you've got the Pac-12. Nobody talks about them. Oregon's going to make a run. Arizona, I think, is probably the number one best value play to win the entire thing. Thoughts on Merrimack? Rest in peace to him. Rest in peace. Remember, they were supposed to make the tournament. They lost. Well, when you've got UConn, Auburn, look at how close this is, man. This is very close. Certainly, I picked UConn, but if you pick Auburn and Auburn ends up winning, I mean, it's... And BYU against Iowa State as well. I like how the top of this bracket is turning out. North Carolina, Alabama. I do not like North Carolina. I would have Bama there. Arizona, Baylor. You got to start going chalk a little bit. Houston, Vermont. You got to go Houston. Kentucky versus Colorado. I'll go Colorado. Purdue versus Gonzaga. Purdue. Texas versus Akron. We'll go. I actually really like this bracket. It's funny. Guys, why is everyone asking me about Quinnipiac the pollster? My thoughts on Quinnipiac are simple. Their polls are extremely inaccurate. I think they're in the CBI. You know what? We'll take a look at them if you really want me to. They're in the CBI, I believe. Well, let's see some of these teams in the CBI. Dude, Delaware State is 15-18. They're in this tournament. How? They're one of the worst teams in college. Presbyterian, 14-18. Wow, Montana. Cleveland State. I think Cleveland State might win this tournament. Fairfield is in it. And there is Quinnipiac. How is Quinnipiac underdogs to Evansville? That doesn't even make that does not make sense. That's a little disrespectful. We will look at the tournaments. What happened here? Come on. And it looks like Wagner's going to be up by 9 here towards the end of the first half. What about Texas over Tennessee? I think that could happen. McCullough on Kansas ruled out for the tournament. Yeah, Kansas's stock is going down significantly. South Carolina making it. I don't like South Carolina personally. CBI, I didn't realize how bad the CBI was. My God. CBI has bottom 50 teams in it. You're going to see like a Chicago State in the CBI pretty soon. UC Irvine, they're in the NIT. The UC Irvine is facing Utah. That's a good matchup. Should I do CBI predictions? I would probably have this, when I look at those teams, maybe Cleveland State winning the entire tournament. McNeese to the Sweet 16. It could happen. Let me actually finish this. This is a BYU Auburn. I got to go Auburn there. Bama Arizona. I got to go Arizona. Houston. And then I will have Texas beating Purdue as an upset. So yeah, this is a pretty nice bracket. Have Arizona beating Auburn, have Houston winning that, and then have Arizona winning the national title. Maybe this will be the bracket I pick tomorrow. And then they give you a zoom out on everything. That's nice. Maybe you might want another 1 seed in the final, I would say. Yeah, the thing I would change out would be UConn beating Auburn, but who really knows? You're a Western Kentuckian. Do you think they could win? Well, I do have them as a major upset win, mainly because I wanted to pick a 15 over a 2. And I don't buy Marquette. Does this mean Wagner is winning it all? Come on, man. Dayton is going to beat Arizona? Unlikely. Very unlikely. Arizona so bad in March. I would not read a ton into that. I think it's a year-to-year thing mainly. That's literally your bracket. I think this is a pretty good bracket outside of only having one 1 seed in the Final Four. You probably want two 1 seeds in the Final Four. Thoughts on Stetson? I don't have an opinion. They're a 16 seed that's going to lose. I don't know what to tell you. How do you do this version of the bracket? You got to pay for it. It's $11. Do a video where you make a region, but it has all the best 1 through 16 seeds. What do you mean? You have Iowa State winning. No, Iowa State really, it would be shocking if Iowa State won to me. I don't think they have a good enough offense. Thoughts on them leaving Syracuse out of the tournament? Not surprising at all. I mean, Syracuse was never going to be in. I understand you could say, well, you know, what were they, 20-10 or something? The ACC is so weak. They were never going to be in the tournament. They didn't have good analytics either. Please write your bracket. There's really no way I can see your bracket, man. It doesn't allow pay to win. Yeah, I had to pay for it. I had to just make sure I win this challenge, so I had to bring out the big bucks to pay for this. What is your final bracket and who do you have winning? This is my main bracket. If you want to see it, I'm going to have to zoom it out a bit. But I really can't, I can't show the entire thing. It's just not, there's not enough room to show the entire thing. Wow, bro, my girlfriend, I missed you. Man, you're looking sexy today. Wow. You saw someone on Twitter say that only one team has ever made the Final Four from the same state. I think you might be reading a little bit too much into it. I understand we want to look at all the information, but when we start doing this thing where it's like, oh, there's, on Tuesday, there's this one team, and if they score 25 points in the first half, they've got a 10%, we're just going a little bit too far with it. I mean, but how many times has the tournament been in a state where a team, hasn't it been in Minneapolis? Do we really think, I just don't know how good that stat would really, if that stat would really matter. Who should you pick to win it all? Well, I would pick Houston or Arizona. Houston or Arizona to me are good picks. It depends how big your family bracket group is. UConn is the safe pick, obviously. But if multiple people are picking UConn, you could pick UConn and still lose. That's the problem. It's not 3 1 seeds, it's 2 1 seeds, buddy. You don't see Illinois going very far. Their defense isn't good. Yeah, I mean, I have Illinois going, to the Elite Eight. I mean, they've got a high-octane offense. It depends. They could lose to BYU. Yeah, all this stuff, yeah, it gets a little bit too much, Some of the stuff is just... Jimmy G got suspended 4 games. That came out a while ago, though. Cincinnati winning it all in NIT. They do have a lot of momentum. why do you think South Carolina is really weak? Well, South Carolina, just in general, profiles as a weak team. They won a lot of close games in conference. Their non-conference schedule was not impressive. Their analytics are horrifically bad. And the point spread reflects it. Butler was the one exception. Oh, to your stat? Justin Jefferson to the Steelers. There's not going to be a chat bracket. There's no way to do a chat bracket. Breaking news. Trump died. Oh, it's a shocker. Thoughts on DePaul? One of the worst teams we've ever seen in terms of Group of 6. Have you gone through the point spreads for Thursday games? I have gone through them, yes. But I haven't gone through them on any type of stream or anything. So Michigan State -1.5. I'd probably lean Michigan State covering that. BYU -9.5. I'd probably have BYU covering that as well. Creighton -12.5. This has been bet down. Excuse me. I like Akron here. Arizona -20.5. I mean, it'll be garbage time whether they cover or not. Illinois -11.5. I think Illinois covers. When you have a really good offense, you're able to cover bigger spreads. This is basically a pick 'em. I would take Oregon. Nevada -1.5. Dayton versus Dayton. I think there's probably good value on Dayton actually in that, but I did pick Nevada personally. Kentucky -13.5. That'll be a garbage time thing. They may or may not cover it. Gonzaga -6.5. That's an upset heavy spread. 5v12. I would take McNeese. Iowa State -16.5. Lower scoring game. Too high of a spread to really bet one way or another. Tennessee -21.5. I would not bet that. Tech -5.5. I think there's probably good value on NC State. There's probably good value on Samford, but that's gone down with the injuries to Kansas. Drake -1.5. I think there's good value on Washington State there to win that game outright as a 7 seed. Even the analytics like Washington State in that game. Yeah, I mean, I do have an ESPN group. Dude, my ESPN group as 900. Listen, we can pump this group up even more. We could pump it up even more. Let's see how many people are in it. 976 people. This is the group. You can join it. Go ahead and join that group, guys. We can get over a 1,000. Wagner's first half performance, my thoughts. I think it's good for them. It's meaningless. I don't know. I mean, it's a 16v16 game. You're joining the group. Yes, go ahead and join, man. Go ahead and join it. We'll get over 1,000. We'll end up over 1,000. The group actually doesn't even close until Thursday, so tomorrow it's still open as well. If you could, you would put a 10K on Utah State losing. Well, are you a TCU fan or something? The reason why Creighton goes so far is because of Purdue's struggles and you don't trust Tennessee. Yeah, I don't trust Purdue personally either. I mean, I don't trust Creighton either. That's the thing. Thoughts on Southern Illinois? They're irrelevant. I don't know what you want me to say. Do I know anything about the Quebec New York event that was supposed to happen? I don't know anything about that. You might have to maybe message me on Discord that or something. That could be a video idea. Maybe the events that got canceled because of it. Thoughts on a St. Mary's trip to the Final Four? It's very unlikely, but I have St. Mary's going to the Elite Eight, so I really can't hate on that pick. You think Creighton beats Purdue if they play because a lot of Purdue's success is getting teams to foul and Creighton doesn't foul? That's sound analysis. It's good analysis. You roasted your algebra teacher over Fairleigh Dickinson over Purdue. What did your algebra teacher like, Purdue or something? Favorite Summer Olympic sport? I mean, really, I probably only watch the basketball mainly. It's actually pretty competitive with the United States having to play the European rules. McCullough is out. Yeah, I mean, people have been telling me, man. NBA in-season tournament or NIT? I actually think the NIT probably has more meaning. The NBA in-season tournament is, I don't know. And plus the courts are terrible. It's just a horrible product. It's a joke. You have St. Mary's versus Arizona in your Elite Eight over North Carolina. Yeah, I would not pick North Carolina to go very far. You fucked your algebra teacher in high school. Well, listen, that's a major red flag. You're a thought. You have Iowa State versus Houston in the finals. Oh, you have Iowa. Yeah, I don't love Iowa. I don't like Iowa State, man. I would be very surprised if Iowa State made the finals or made the national championship. I would change Iowa State out probably for Arizona. If you look at that one region, what is it? Arizona, North Carolina. Yeah, I like Arizona over North Carolina. What is European rules? They're able to like foul and hand check and things like that. Makes it harder to score. How do I feel about Chick-fil-A? I mean, the prices at Chick-fil-A are brutal. Chick-fil-A has I mean, it was like $27 for two people when I went like 6 months ago. Any news on the Vegas A's Stadium? I don't think so. To be fair, I haven't checked recently, mainly because of March Madness, but I think I would be able to see it on a Twitter feed or something if there was big news. That situation's been dragging on forever. You don't like the new girl I have? Well, she's got 50 bodies. It's very sad. I do like St. Mary's, man. It feels like a St. Mary. It feels like a Gale's year. You think Iowa State's defense will be too much? Well, that seems kind of ridiculous. Like a defense will be too much? I don't know. I mean, I could see an offense being too much. You're just mad because I won't let you hit. Honey, you're up to like 80 bodies. I'm not interested. You wouldn't... McNeese thoughts? I like McNeese. I like McNeese to go to the... I think I have them in the Sweet 16. Yes, we will go ahead and look at my bracket because people keep asking about it. We'll go to the bottom region. Let's respect Baylor. Oh, I agree. I like Baylor, man. You're currently in the shower watching me. That's That's an impressive. You know, I used to have a what was it? My iPhone 5. I used to have something to where I'd go in the shower and watch YouTube on it. Never forget my historically bad 2021 bracket. Well, listen, I think it was like the 88th percentile or something. I don't remember. Thoughts on making 30 brackets? I mean, what's the point? You're just like I could make 30 brackets. Get what I made 25 brackets last year. 5 of them were trolls, and I still had one bracket in the 99.6 percentile because you can just game the system by picking a few different teams to the national title, changing all your picks and all your brackets, and really making them all unique to where you're guaranteed to finish very high. Will Samford win? Yeah, I mean, I would fade Kansas. I mean, obviously, I'm not going to change my pick, but I would fade Kansas. You are the best YouTuber in the game. You're trying to put... Michael, I appreciate that. 31, but... well, it's a troll account, but it is funny. My best election betting picks. Well, I don't think there's much value right now on Trump. Pretty much everyone has Trump to win, so I don't think there's great value on him. But I do think he might only be like minus 160, minus 150 maybe. But it's hard to find value on anyone. Making an election bet now, you're a fool because you're blocking up your money, your capital until the election. What's the point? Congratulations in order to Wagner. Absolute worst college fan base. I mean, how can I answer that? How would I know that? You know, it's like how do you even quantify that? I guess the most popular one is probably the worst because they're going to be the most annoying. Oh yeah, Kansas is banged up. That's why a lot of people are picking against them. They struggled mightily against Cincinnati. They lost by 20 points. Do you think Florida or Kentucky is a better Final Four team? I think probably Florida, but it's close. They're the same team. They're offensive heavy. Grand Canyon could go on a run. Personally, I had them losing to St. Mary's. I had St. Mary's going on the run. I'm doing better at March Madness coverage than CBS. Well, I think I have to have one of the biggest. I have to have one of the. I have to be the biggest. Group out of anyone outside of ESPN and all their bullshit, and they've got people, but I mean, my group is like 1,000 people. Thoughts on Nebraska over Houston? I think it's unlikely. Nothing's impossible in March, though. If it happens, you really can't be shocked by it. It's an 8 over a 1 or a 9 over a 1. What I don't know. What is Nebraska? I think Nebraska's an 8 because A&M's a 9. Does Wagner have a shot? Oh yeah, so Wagner will be facing North Carolina then. Maybe we can get it updated. I wonder if it'll update right away when Wagner wins. But yeah, no, Wagner has no shot, man. What's the bigger shocker? Michigan State to the Final Four or St. Peter's to the... Yeah, I think St. Peter's. St. Peter's is really bad this year. Then again, St. Peter's was supposed to be really bad. Really, St. Peter's, you could make an argument. When they were a 15 seed, they probably should have been a 16 seed. And this year, they probably should be a 16 seed as well. I mean, they are not a good 15 seed. Best 15 seeds in the tournament. Long Beach State really shouldn't be here. South Dakota State really should be a 16. I'd probably say Western Kentucky is the best, but none of them are very good. Why Oregon so high? It has to do with their draw. Mainly, the reason I had Oregon going deep is they get Creighton. I could honestly see Creighton losing. If you like Creighton, then obviously you're not going to have Oregon going deep. It just depends on if you like Creighton. I don't like South Carolina or Creighton, so that's kind of one of the reasons. And also Oregon, they're a hot team right now. It's easier to pick them. The group hit 1K. Well, yeah, it was at $9.98. I knew it was going to hit. $7 Dairy Queen meal. Remember the $5 meal that they used to have? Yeah, I know. McCullough is out. Yep. It's a big loss. Absolutely. You'd think he would have been ready. And why New Mexico beating Baylor? Well, New Mexico is underseeded significantly. They should probably be an 8 or a 9. They had a really good conference tournament run. Clemson is it's not a layup. I mean, it'll probably be a close game, but it's a game. It's a pick 'em. And then Baylor's a team that they don't wow me. I mean, Baylor could win for sure, but I'm trying to really hit on one of these Cinderella teams this year. And they are one of the top ones. Looking at some of the things today I saw, I like New Mexico more. That after the things that I researched and saw, Arizona is a team to pick really far. New Mexico is a team. A team not to pick is North Carolina. What are you going to send it to me on Twitter? Yeah, I can maybe in Discord. Send it in Discord, man. What group? Go to my community tab on YouTube. Final Four. Yeah, that's a troll Final Four. Would you rather eat my ass or see UConn win another natty? Well, that's a very hard choice. None of those teams are making the Final Four. In my bracket, I think at least one will, minimum. Creighton beat UConn. Well, yeah, a lot of things happen in the regular season. A lot of teams beat, teams. It's consistency. What is the most likely double-digit seed to win it all? It'd be probably double-digit seed. So I was gonna say Michigan State, but it's hard to say a double-digit seed, man. Maybe a New Mexico goes deep. Maybe a Drake goes deep. Oh, I'd say maybe Colorado. The problem with Colorado is they're in a first 4 game. That's the issue. I'll tell you, if Colorado goes deep, I'm going to be very pissed off. Just because who is going to pick a first 4 team to go deep into the tournament? Nobody does that. It's like UCLA all over again. Arizona is still a great team. I agree, and there's good value on them comparison to who the public is really not picking Arizona a ton. They have good value. If you compare it to the analytics. Justin Fields or Russell Wilson by week 8. Yeah, I mean, Wilson is Wilson is just such an average quarterback now. I think that's going to be a very annoying situation. You almost think it's going to get solved by an injury. But if Russell Wilson doesn't get injured, that's going to be a very annoying situation. Because he'll probably do just enough to be the starter, and then they'll go 7-10. And it's like, what's the point? I would start Fields right away. I just don't see Russell Wilson leading the Steelers anywhere in that division at all. But if you're the Steelers, it's kind of a lose-lose no matter what. If Fields plays well, you immediately have to give him a massive contract. But they did get Russell Wilson for very cheap, basically nothing. No, FAU was not a first 4 team. They were in an 8v9 game. Why so low on Duke? I mean, really, I have them in the round of 32. I guess they could make the Sweet 16. You have Marquette winning. I mean, everyone's entitled to their opinions. Marquette has decent analytics. Could you post the link to the Discord? Yeah, we might have an issue with the Discord to where I don't even think I can have people joining the Discord. The problem is we have something that disables people from joining. I will try and see if you're going to have to click on it really quickly, because otherwise the bot is probably going to tell you not to join. We will go ahead and see if we can get you to join. And maybe you'll join. There it is right there. We got the friggin' notification on. Kansas isn't right. Well, they're injured. Oregon going to the Final Four. Oregon is slept on. Well, they're a low seed. It's understandable why they're slept on. They shouldn't have even they wouldn't have been in the tournament without the run that they went on to get the auto bid. Your Final Four is Tennessee over UConn with Arizona. Your Cinderella is Florida. Yeah, it's definitely risky, but it's understandable. You've got good balance, I think. Two seeds, but I understand Arizona and Tennessee. You know, I have those teams as well. Check the comments. Oh, was that? I think I saw that. Was that the link to the potential renovation with what is that arena in Anaheim? The Anaheim Arena. I forgot the arena. That's a bad arena, but I think I know what that is. I think I looked at that link. MLB expansion city. I'm just, Nashville, I would say. Nashville, Salt Lake City, those would be my top two. Yeah, that is tough for Kansas. I mean, I think people expected he would be back. When is your next Black Ops zombie video? I might be a little late to the party on that, unfortunately. Thoughts on Wisconsin? Yeah, I just went against Wisconsin, man. I just couldn't do it. They're very. I mean, they were so bad for so long throughout all of February. I understand they played well in the conference tournament. We don't need we don't need this, man. The thing is I answered your question. And you've got to spam it 5 more times after I answered it. The video is about the Oh, okay, it's something different. You must have just sent it to me then. You must have just sent it to me. Your Final Four is UConn, Arizona, Florida, Tennessee, with Tennessee beating UConn. It's understandable, man. I mean, Florida is a very risky pick, but I understand why people are doing it. I mean, I have Florida going deep as well. I've seen some things where Florida might lose the first game, but it's so streaky with it. If we all pick Florida, it's almost like we all become normies and Florida ends up losing. We kind of deserve it. Can Gonzaga go to the Elite Eight? I don't like Gonzaga this year. Do you think MSU and Izzo upset another 1 seed? I think North Carolina is susceptible to an upset. That's why I don't have North Carolina in the Final Four. I don't know if they would lose in the second round, but if there's a 1 seed that's going to lose in the second round, I do think it would be North Carolina. Oh, Angel. Honey. Oh. Yeah, we got an LSU and an LSU player in the chat. Washington State beating Iowa. You mean Iowa State? I think it could happen. We got a cat fight going on. Oh my god, man. I just can't do it with these people. Yeah, people got to spam. Sid the Slaw. Yeah, well. What's my email? My email is... I don't know what my email is for this I believe my email should be public. If you go to my channel, because people are able to email me. Florida has the most potential. What do you mean? You mean a lower seed that has the most potential? I would understand that. Thoughts on Auburn, North Carolina, Creighton, Florida? I think it's a little bit too wild. I think you need a 1 seed in there, man. But not North Carolina. Yeah, I'm not high on North Carolina. Auburn, I understand going with Auburn, but if you go with Auburn, let's scale the bracket a little bit better to where we have more 1 seeds involved. Do you think there's any scenario where North Carolina wins it all? Well, I mean, they're a 1 seed. Of course there's a scenario. I don't think it's going to happen. I mean, that's just my opinion. That's based off of the analytics I've seen. Listen, we don't need a cat fight going on in the chat with grown men pretending to be women and trying to court me. This is sad what we're doing. This is... come on. Stenson or Longwood. That's a hypothetical matchup that's not happening. Chances UTSA makes the tournament. Well, unfortunately, I think they're already disqualified. Purdue are frauds. I mean, I'm not high on Purdue. I think North Carolina and Purdue are the 2 seeds that don't make it. Yeah, I'll show the bottom of it. Oh, he released another pair. The Dementia 2s now. Wow. The Dementia 1s. No, I agree. I hate State Farm Stadium. Look at the new renovation they have to State Farm Stadium, where it's literally these little cheap-ass homes they're putting up behind the end zone. That is such an overrated stadium. Oh my God, State Farm Stadium. When are we going to rid ourselves of seeing national events at that stadium? It's every year. NRG, State Farm. NRG, State Farm. They're fucking horrible stadiums. They're just not that good. But it's constant events there. Thoughts on New Mexico State's future? Yeah, New Mexico, didn't they have a hazing scandal? New Mexico State? They did have a good... New Mexico State was a 12 seed several times, I remember. I remember New Mexico State being a 12 seed. I actually want to... I wish you could look back at, you could look back at previous years. See, now it's zoomed way out. But you can only look back at 2023 and see. I am interested just to see the teams that were in the tournament. Charleston was in the tournament again. Miami as a 5 seed. Memphis was in. Oral Roberts. What a joke that was. Yeah, this multiplier is crazy. Look at this. Plus 10 points, plus 20 points, plus 40 points, plus 80 points, plus 160 points, plus 320. The multiplier is insane. Perfect bracket tracker. Yeah, they're not. That's not going to be a while. That thing's going to go away pretty quickly. Kamal is a baddie. Auburn going to the Elite Eight. You have... Is that what you mean? I could see that happening. What's up, man? Samford over Kansas after the injury. I don't think it's going to make or break your bracket. I don't think Kansas is going far either way. So, it's going to be just one game. It's inconsequential. Grand Canyon is the new Mexico State. Maybe Charleston is. Charleston seemingly is making the tournament now a decent amount of times. we can look at this one. This is another bracket well, I kind of had the analytics do it, but this is actually a pretty decently scaled bracket. Maybe there's one too many upsets in it, I think. Yeah, there probably is. Think of A&M over Houston. Well, I'm not a fan of it personally. Most likely 16 seed to beat a 1. Honestly, just the way they play. Purdue losing again. I mean, probably Purdue losing again. I just don't think it's going to happen. I mean, Purdue is the obvious answer. They lost last year. They have basically the exact same team. Oh my god. This trash. Thoughts on who will win next year? That's a hilarious question. Cooper Flag and Duke. No, it's such an NPC pick. I don't know, man. It'll be fun to get the odds though. That's for sure. Yeah, I do have an email. Go to my you have to I think you have to go on the computer and then go to the about section of my channel and you'll see the email address, I believe. Or just message me on Discord or Twitter, honestly. Those are easier ways, but no. This is a different bracket, man. Is the analytics bracket? No, the analytics bracket is not my main bracket. My main guys, this is not. Can we have some guys? My main bracket is my main bracket. The analytics bracket is not my main bracket. This is a bracket I just did. This is the coin flip bracket, and this was a bracket I did last night on stream. But we're getting confused on the brackets now. Auburn is drawing a ton of scary comparisons with last year's UConn team. It's insane. Interesting. Doesn't really surprise me considering their analytics are crazy. Yeah, the coin did decide that Oregon. If you want, well, I could do another coin flip bracket right now. No, the analytics bracket is not the main bracket. This is my main bracket. The analytics bracket is just a secondary bracket that I do. That is more of a less of an entertainment value bracket, more of a strategic bracket. Purdue jumped up to the third most voted for the Natty. Yeah, hilarious. We'll let them lose. James Madison over Duke is crazy. Not really. $64 team college football coin flip bracket. Oh my goodness. You did a coin flip bracket in Oakland one? Is going to the gym overrated? I don't think so, man. I used to always go to the gym. Do a sim bracket with the NCAA. I don't think that has updated rosters. I don't think that simulator has updated rosters unless they just updated them. Because when I saw it, it was still the last year's roster. So there's no point. Guys, the main is... These people got to be trolling me at this point. Yeah, come on. I mean, I respect the troll. Who do I think is more likely to win it all? North Carolina or Purdue? I would say neither, honestly, but Purdue probably. Probably North Carolina, actually, with the guard. Howard could win. They are coming back. Well, maybe they will. My sister just said you're handsome when I showed her. Well, look at that. It's a budding relationship. You just did the coin flip bracket. Dude, I love the coin flip bracket. It's just so random. It's just the most random teams winning it. Colgate won. Oh, man. Oakland over Kentucky. I wouldn't do that. I think Kentucky is too talented to lose in the first round. But Kentucky's defense is scary bad. Just like Alabama's. Thoughts on experienced guard play? Yeah, no, they are experienced. They are experienced. But think about North Carolina. There's just not great value. There's a lot of North Carolina fans. They're one of the most popular teams. It's the same thing with Kentucky and Duke. Those teams are overvalued, so more people are going to pick them to advance. So if you pick against them and you win, you're going to have an even bigger advantage. Thoughts on BYU to the Elite Eight? I could understand it. I think BYU is underseeded. Dayton won your coin flip bracket. Just random teams. Do a bracket, but try and get 0 points. Maybe that should be the title of the video. That is a catchy title. Trying to get 0 points. Or trying to miss every pick. It's a very catchy title. I appreciate the input. Do another coin flip bracket. Well, it does. I have to try and set it up to get it. With the chat, it's going to be hard to do. Well, I guess I could do it. Yeah, I could do it. Dude, I'm decent at basketball. I got a decent jumper. I think it's cringe when guys can't shoot. You know, you got to be able to, like, shoot. You sent me an email. Well, listen, I'll review it tomorrow. I'll take a screenshot of it and I'll review it on stream tomorrow. Do you think Akron will win in the first round? I think they have a chance. I did not predict it. You can see, or is it even on here? Oh, I was looking at the top region. Yeah, I mean, I could see Akron winning. Honestly, I think they're going to cover the 12.5. Yeah, this is my main bracket. Why is Washington State so far? That's only the Sweet 16. I wouldn't say that. Consider that so far for a 7 seed. We get a jump shot reveal. Oh, I would have no problem doing that. Obama's bracket. Yeah, I mean, Obama does it every year. What did he have? UConn winning it all? Listen, I mean, it is what it is. No, I'm not drinking apple juice. I'm drinking Gatorade. Do the troll bracket. Yeah, people have asked for the troll bracket. Maybe tomorrow. I do want to do at least one more, tomorrow morning I'll do a serious video because I just bought the ESPN Plus. And there's some metrics that people want to see. And it is kind of cool because it gives you the hypothetical matchup, so I guess that's a plus. You think Marquette, North Carolina, Kentucky, Purdue, and Creighton are overrated? Yeah, I would agree with you. I mean, I don't think Purdue is overrated. I think most people don't like them. Western Kentucky won your coin flip bracket. It's understandable. You have school tomorrow, so can you post at 4 o'clock? Well, what are you talking about? I mean, you could watch the video whenever. What's more likely to happen in your opinion? UConn is a perfect team to win analytically, or them losing because it's so hard to go back-to-back? Well, them losing, but even the analytics admit they still only have a 20%, really like a 17% chance to win. So do they really, like, have, I know they profile amazingly well, but even, it's not like the analytics are saying, oh my God, they have a 62% chance to win the entire thing. They're the overwhelming, they're not the overwhelming favorite. Some analytics like Houston over them. Yale won your coin flip bracket. When are we going to get a normal team to win the coin flip bracket? Your 2021 bracket was trash. Yeah, that was like a decade ago, dude. I mean, Jesus, these people bringing up 2021. That was like 10 years ago. That's irrelevant. Sleeper was awesome for filling out a bracket. Yeah, Sleeper, I think we use Sleeper for doing a fantasy league. So Sleeper's nice, but I didn't know they also did brackets. That doesn't surprise me. Do I think Yale can upset Auburn? No. You want to see Moorhead versus Longwood? Yeah, nice little sexually charged statement. Could the AC? Yeah, I'd like to see the Ivy with the. I would like that. I'd like to see. I'd like to see the Ivy with the ACC. I want to see Brown University face some of these teams. Your 2020 bracket was trash. Everyone's 2020 bracket was trash. I appreciate the $4.99, brother. What's my opinion on Illinois and Texas Tech making a deep run or even winning? I would say very unlikely for both. Illinois' issue is the region. It's interesting. I had Illinois in a few of the brackets I did before the reveal, making the Final Four. The issue is they would have to very likely beat both. Well, I mean, they could beat Iowa State, but like BYU is a tough team. Obviously, UConn or Auburn, no matter who they face, they just don't have the defense to be able to go on a run like that. Texas Tech, I think Texas Tech is underrated. I could see Texas Tech, if they beat Kentucky and then they get a team like Florida, yeah, they could make a run. But I don't think they're going to go to the Final Four. What are your other bracket videos coming out? I'll do a serious video tomorrow about the ESPN analytics, and then possibly a fun bracket where I try and pick losers or something like that. Maybe, I don't know, maybe one more or two more bracket videos like that. Dude, you're trying to get people to spam chat bracket. Nobody wants it. You're preaching to no one. There's nobody spamming chat bracket. Look at this. Your coin flip bracket picked a 16 seed to win the championship. And when you confirmed it, you could say, well, which 16 seed? You got to be more. Western Kentucky won your coin flip against Long Beach State. Oh, that's awesome. If Moorhead State wins, they deserve that. That's crazy if they beat Illinois. Oh. All right, let's actually get an update on this. Where is the... Oh, I don't even think I have it up. Okay, we'll just go to this. Looks like Wagner is going to win. Take a look at the NIT. North Texas is winning. Providence is winning. Georgia. Wow, a good game between Ohio State and Cornell. And then the 9 o'clock games haven't started yet. Why is Florida so far? Well, they've got high upside. Can Western Kentucky beat Florida in the second round? It's unlikely, man. It's unlikely. You picked Colorado to beat Purdue? Oh, and in the coin flip? You had Chat GPT. Yeah, well, Chat GPT is the ultimate normie. The ultimate NPC. A literal automated system. Jace, I appreciate it. 669. Amazing. What do you think about this Final Four? Auburn, Arizona, Houston, Tennessee. It's understandable. That's a 4-2-1-2. Yeah, that's a good Final Four, man. That's a good Final Four. Obviously, it would make your bracket if Auburn beat UConn. That's what would make your bracket. I think Arizona is a solid pick. I think Houston is a safe pick. Tennessee is hard for me. I mean, I picked Tennessee. But that region is just kind of... Can you want to see my women's bracket? it's irrelevant. I don't know. I just filled it out randomly. I have Texas winning. I think Texas is a 1 seed in the women's tournament. What happened to LSU basketball? Well, they cheated, man. With Will Wade, they blatantly cheated to get players, and then they kind of fell off. Thoughts on the 10:05 time slot? Terrible for upsets. Not a good time slot if you're a 12 seed, if you're a 13, if you're a 14. You want a 4 o'clock game preferably. You want a 4, maybe a 2. A 7 isn't terrible. You do not want a noon game. But normally the noon games are always the 8v9 matchups. That is true. Do I have Colorado State tonight or Virginia? I mean, everyone is picking Colorado State. It's just Virginia is very hard to watch. People want Virginia out of the tournament. Women's NIT. I never saw the women's NIT personally. Top 3 guards in the tournament. Well, definitely RJ Davis. I am concerned with normally when you have. I mean, I guess they do have. They do have a seasoned big man, but I feel like North Carolina is going to lose early. RJ Davis is going to have a game where he has 10 turnovers. When you rely on a guard that much, it's a bit ridiculous. Mark Sears is another guard that's absurdly good. Alabama had, like, at one point, one of the best offenses in almost like college basketball history. Haley Van Lil, yeah, that girl for LSU. I think I saw her on Instagram. You hate living in Arizona. Games start at 9 a.m. Yeah, well, Arizona has that weird time zone, and now you're 3 hours behind us again. Coin flip bracket Final Four, Yale, Long Beach State, Samford, and Texas Tech. Champion is Long Beach State over Texas Tech. Wow, man. That might take the cake. Terrence Shannon, yeah, he would be up there. What a weird year that Illinois had. He was suspended for like 7 games. Duquesne will win the CBI. I think they'll be in the NIT next year. National championship with Virginia was yeah, but that was the year I picked Virginia, so I was happy. Women's CBI bracket pool is stacked. You should do a live stream on it, man. Just do a live stream and title it Women's CBI bracket and then put breaking important data. It begins. It begins. Who would win, North Carolina or Alabama? Probably Carolina. Carolina's deeper. Carolina just is a more complete team. Favorite cereal? Man, I haven't had cereal in a while. I guess Reese's Cup cereal or whatever the hell that is. There's another one the one that we used to always eat was. It was not, Lucky Charms is. I only ate the marshmallows with that shit, right? Sad story about Indiana State. Absolutely. You have her leaks? Well, she's not on OF, man. You just Google leaks if you want them. Who do you think will win, Auburn or UConn? Well, it's going to be a good game if it happens. It's hard to predict, but I would say UConn. They're a bit better. Am I going to do a live stream tomorrow? Probably. Do you think Marquette will lose? Yeah, I do. I actually have Marquette losing really early in the first round just because I wanted a 15 over a 2. You know, I make the bracket. There's got to be an entertainment value to it. Watching Virginia basketball is it's real bad, man. Favorite movie? Dude, it's hard to answer, you know. Maybe, you know what? Prometheus. I'm not... Prometheus. You have Kansas winning. Well, I picked Kansas to win before the news broke. You have to understand that. Favorite meat? I guess a nice steak. Pick a bracket where you pick the team with a better arena. We're digging deep for ideas, guys. Come on. Yeah, the chat bracket. Rest in peace to the chat bracket. Rest in peace. Even though you want a 2v15 upset, do you really think it will happen to Marquette? I think it would happen to Marquette or Iowa State. Those would be the two seeds I could see losing. All right, I do have to take a piss. So I'll be right back. Ugh. Oh, God, dude. It's the same three people. It's the same three people. Oh, my God. All right, fine. We'll do it. We'll try and do it then. All right. We'll try and do it. Jesus Christ. All right, all right. Here's the first matchup. Who win? This is gonna be on delay. Who wins, UConn or Stenson? Who wins, UConn or Stenson? This will be fucking amazing. I'm sure this is gonna be a really realistic bracket. Democracy. Yeah, you want some Soviet Union democracy? I'll minus off this tag right now. Yeah, we've already got one Stenson. Yeah, this is yeah. Looks like there's about yeah. This is just the Yukons are coming in a little bit. It's Stenson's. It's gonna be Stenson. So that's we got a major upset. The chat has spoken. All right, FAU versus Northwestern. Wait, let me see if I can make a poll. Is there a way to make a poll? No, I'm not going to do it. It's just going to take too long. FAU. Yeah, there's a lot of FAUs. I'm not going to spend here for 3 hours and wait for 30 people. There's more FAUs. San Diego State, UAB. I'm not doing a poll. It's going to take too long. All right, we it looks like we do need a poll. I can't tell. Oh, it does look like San Diego State. The thing is, I'm gonna have to. Is there a way to automatically pin this? Oh, there we go. All right, there we go. We'll give it a second. Can I see the poll? We'll give it 100 votes or so. I mean, I don't think I need to start it over. Krispy Kreme or Dunkin' Donuts? For donuts, definitely Krispy Kreme, man. Well, this chat is just a bunch of NPCs. They can't predict an upset. It looks like it's going to be San Diego State. There's no reason to start over, man. People were going to pick Stenson. There's no reason to start over. All right, it's going to be San Diego State. Oh, you can't start another. You have to minus this poll out? Yeah, you do. This chat is NPCs, man. This chat is total NPCs. It's sad. Oh man. Thoughts on Texas in the Final Four? I think it's possible, man. I do think. See, this is the problem with these things. When you get a large group of people together, it's just all the higher seed is always gonna win. The higher seed is always gonna win. This would take like 2 hours. I know. There's just no way. There's just no way we're doing this. There's no way we're doing this. You're right. You are correct. I'll answer your guys' questions. And you NPCs would just pick all the teams anyways. No, I don't care about the picks that these people made. They're ridiculous. Oh my goodness. I'm not going to sit here for 5 hours and do this with the chat. Oh man. All right, this is what we'll do. This is what I'm going to do. This is what I can do for you guys. Tomorrow on the live stream, send me your bracket and I'll review it. All right? Enough. We don't need to hear it. If you send me the bracket, I will review it on the live stream. That's what I can do for you. Send me your bracket. Preferably not email it, because it's just send me it on Discord. Send me it on Twitter. Stetson, chat bracket, it's not happening. Will Kansas win a game? Possibly not. You don't need to use my email, man. You don't need to use my email. You'll miss it because of your wisdom teeth. Well, I mean, it is what it is, man. You gotta wisdom teeth. That's a big deal. You're joining the Discord. You let me know if you can actually join that Discord, by the way. You might not be able to. There's a bot that blocks you. They pick. Well, they're trolling. It's understand it. If you're under 35, don't use email. Oh, there's a place for email. It's for more business stuff and things like that, you know, but like in terms of like trying to like extract pictures from it and stuff, it doesn't really make sense. Nate, I feel like that's some type of troll. I just get trolled with that stuff a lot. Well, the stream tomorrow is very likely going to be at 7 o'clock Eastern, just like because tomorrow's the exact same thing as today is. It's meaningless. It's this 16v16 game, and it does. Listen, I'm 1-0 right now. Wait, hold on a second. I had Wagner beating Howard, so well, it's not going to count, but I did have Wagner beating Howard. Wagner is looking scary. Yeah, you can't join because I think my Discord might be. I forgot to move this down. Whoops. What, you weren't able to join my Discord? I think my Discord might just be broke, honestly. If you don't have Twitter or Discord, yeah, then you're gonna have to try and you're gonna have to email it to me or something, man. I'll put my email in the You emailed me. All right. You got to eat with family, man. You must be a different time zone. You got to eat late, man. Your bracket's gonna be perfect. No reason to review it. Well, I can still look at it if you want. I mean, you don't have to change anything. Do you mind if I put? Well, why would you put an email? Oh, my email address? I mean, it doesn't matter. My Discord got quarantined and locked out. I think my Discord might have, honestly, it might have some type of, it's contaminated, I think. It's been contaminated for a few days. Coin flip bracket was pretty good for a while. It did have a few decent picks. It wasn't totally crazy. I mean, honestly, you kind of hope it's crazy, but it was what it was. I mean, there were kind of some How do I have Washington State over Iowa State? Well, I've never been high on Iowa State. I was going to have Iowa State losing in the first round. I just don't like Iowa State's offense. They seem like a typical 2 seed that has a nice season and then immediately loses, immediately chokes because of the lack of offense. Longwood won your coin flip tourney. Damn. Final Four: Auburn, New Mexico, Houston, Creighton. I think that's, you're not gonna win anything with that, man. It's just too rogue. I mean, New Mexico. If you're gonna pick New Mexico, I can see Auburn. I can see Houston. I don't think it should be Creighton. I think you got to go safer than that. But who, like, is that the region with Tennessee? I'd probably go Tennessee then, or I might go another 1 seed, Purdue. Even if you don't like Purdue. You've got Long Beach State winning one of them. TCU to the Final Four. It's very unlikely. It's very unlikely, man. Iowa State blew out Houston. Well, listen, a lot of things happened during the season. I understand Iowa State had a nice tournament run. How much stock do you put into it? I think it's a bullish sign for Houston, believe it or not. Houston, we still know, is a really good team. They've got great guard play. They've got great defense. They're going to be more motivated now. I look at it as a positive. Final Four: Illinois, Houston, Creighton, North Carolina. I don't think Illinois makes it, man. It's a tough draw for Illinois. Duquesne over BYU. Listen, you'd be a legend, man. New Mexico Final Four. They are a typical random team with a decent draw to possibly. They're like, New Mexico is this year's Florida Atlantic. I'll say that much. But then they would have to make the Final Four, I guess, which they're probably not going to. Your Final Four: Houston, Auburn, Creighton, North Carolina. I feel like I just reviewed that. Iowa State beating Houston was a fluke. I mean, they crushed them, let's be honest, but it's just one game. I don't think you can call that a fluke if they win by 30 points. St. Peter's is going to upset again. It seems very unlikely, but who knows? You know what? We can actually see like who's the worst team in this in this. Duquesne is worse than Yale and Samford. How did Virginia make the tournament, man? That is crazy. Oh, Charleston's a 13 seed. UAB is a horrible 12 seed. Western Kentucky is kind of a decent 15 seed, actually. At least analytically, they're slightly better than St. Man, Oakland, I thought Oakland would be higher. Colgate's not very good. Long Beach State is worse than Longwood. Oh, man. It's all close. Can a 16 seed win? I doubt it. With McCullough out, does Samford beat Kansas? It's very possible. Very possible. Remember Kansas against Cincinnati. Arizona, Auburn, Kentucky, Purdue. I would certainly switch out Kentucky. Kentucky does not profile well with any previous Final Four team of the past 10 years. I would switch out Kentucky. Thoughts on picking Duke to the Final Four? So the issue is, even though when you look at Duke this year, you kind of look at them as an under-the-radar team, but there's still going to be a lot of people that are casual that pick Duke to go to the Final Four just because they're Duke. So I understand your thinking, and technically Duke has the analytics to possibly go on a run. They profile very well, but you're not getting the value you would think because they're so... I mean, look at Kentucky. The amount of people picking Kentucky is just outrageous, and Duke is very similar. So I understand your thought process, I do, but you're not getting the value you think you're getting because when we look at this and we see Duke, it's like, it's crazy. Duke is so under the radar, but people are still going to pick them because they're Duke, and they're just normie people. They don't know anything, and then they fill out a bracket. It's not over. Howard could win. Could we get a... Wow. A massive choke job almost from Wagner. St. Mary's over Arizona. It's unlikely. I mean, it's possible. It's unlikely, though. Washington State. Yeah, Washington State and Nebraska both had nice stories this year. Thoughts on Drake May? Like a Justin Herbert type quarterback. I like Drake May. I think people might be over. I mean, dude, the draft is just, it's such a constant. It's like wheels go round. Wagner is 293. Oh, I didn't go down far enough for Wagner. St. Peter, yeah, so St. Peter's is the worst 15 seed. They're worse than Longwood. Stenson is terrible. Grambling, Howard. Yeah, there is Wagner. Wagner is worse than Delaware State. Old Dominion, who went 7-25. Imagine Old Dominion making the tournament. CBI predictions. Well, the CBI is really weird because I think one team gets a bye. Chicago State is in the CBI? Oh my goodness. Actually, Chicago State was not terrible this year. All right, let's see the bracket. Here's the CBI, their official website. This is a useless website. Charlotte won it. Wow, good for Charlotte. We will try and see the bracket. Maybe this is the bracket. This is not the bracket. Come on. Oh, yeah, High Point. I would expect High Point to win it. High Point is the only team with a bye. High Point should run through this bracket. Drake May, Sam Howell. No, Drake May's better than that, man. Come on. Auburn, North Carolina, Houston, Purdue. It's understandable. I don't know about 3 1 seeds making it. Does Utah State make the Final Four sound crazy? That would be shocking. Utah State is just such a random team, and plus they're an what are they, an 8 seed, a 9 seed? They're in an 8v9 game, and then they'd face Purdue. Funny enough, Chicago State. I know Chicago State's been. Oh, you've been rebuilding them on 2K8. They've been rebuilding in real life. CBI, they actually are televised on ESPN2, but the first round games are not televised. Is that an 11 a.m. start? Wow. Can Creighton make the Final Four? Technically, Creighton can make the Final Four, yes. I don't think they're going to, but technically, yes, they can. St. Mary's over North Carolina. I like St. Mary's defense. Andrew Tate endorsed Michelle Obama. Amazing news for the country. Montana wins it. That's a respectable pick. Montana, I thought, was going to win the Big Sky and make the tournament. They were supposed to, and then they choked. Or I don't know if they were supposed to. It was kind of like, that was at North Dakota, South Dakota State, and Montana. Those were kind of the 3 teams. Joe Lenard, he had a tough time this year, Lenardi, yeah. Wagner only up 1. Man, if Wagner blows this, it's a sad sight. Howard calls a timeout. Wagner up by 1. We got a game starting at 9:10. 1-point game. I can't. Karen. Your name is Karen. I'm not calling you a Karen. Karen, I can't put it on. Honey, I would get copyrighted. Yes, I'm on ESPN, guys. Best 16 versus 16 game ever. Is this the start to the greatest tournament ever? This has got to be the greatest start to the tournament ever. Biggest bracket buster this year. It'd probably be a team like Colorado. Anytime there's a first 4 team that goes deep, nobody predicts that. Will March Madness become more popular than the Super Bowl? You're on crack, brother. Come on. March Madness, it is a popular event, I can't lie. Thoughts on FAU beating UConn? I don't think it happens. I know people like FAU based off of last year. Well, I mean, evidently people really don't like FAU because UConn's like the number 1 pick team in the entire thing, but I don't think that happens, man. Final Four: Auburn, Arizona, Houston, Tennessee. Oh, that Final Four checks out as very nice. It's a good Final Four. Thoughts on Bo Nix? I think he's going to be better than Penix Jr. Auburn, no, I don't think Clemson's making it, man. There's no way Clemson or Kentucky are making it. FAU beating Arizona? What are you talking about, brother? UConn, Zona, Kentucky, Tennessee. Kentucky's not making the Final Four. I'm just being honest with you. Thoughts on Iowa State losing to Morehead State? Boy, you like Morehead State as a Cinderella. I don't think I've ever seen anyone ask me that hypothetical scenario. So I give Nutsack Gaming. Shout out to you. That's a great question. I don't think that would happen. But listen, if Morehead State wins, against Illinois, they've got a lot of momentum. Kentucky, Tennessee, North Carolina, UConn. No, not Kentucky. Kentucky, UConn, TCU, North Carolina, no. No, not TCU or Kentucky. Will Western Kentucky upset Marquette? Of course. Nutsack Gaming comes in with the ultimate hypothetical. He's got a future. That's a great name. His channel's gonna be popping. Is Heath Ledger's Joker the best Joker? That's an NPC question. I mean, obviously, yes. Joaquin Phoenix was good as well. Colgate beats Baylor. I respect it. If Dayton beats Arizona and then Clemson can win its first two rounds, they could beat Dayton if Alabama or North Carolina is who they face in the Elite Eight. Dude, you... FAU, Florida, Grand Canyon, St. Peter's. Is that your first four? Nuts, dude. That's the thing. It was such a curveball hypothetical, and then I looked at his name, and she was just perfect. It was just such a curveball. Oh, the Wagner Group wins. Congratulations are in order. They will move on to face North Carolina. Let's update it. Let's see it updated. Have they updated it yet? Come update this. Update. We need an update. They still haven't updated it. Damn them. Give credit to Wagner. View all pictures. Oh, here we go. Purdue. Yeah, I mean, all the one seeds. I think Arizona is better than a lot of these one seeds. Iowa State at 4%. Yeah, I mean, some people picking Howard. I mean, that's just great to see. That's awesome. It makes sense. Thoughts on Drake in the Sweet 16? I could see a scenario where Drake makes the Sweet 16, yes. Cornell, Ohio State finish. Is it good? Yeah, I haven't been looking at that. The NIT offering some North Texas looks like they're gonna win. Good game here. Oh, we got a good game between Ohio State and Cornell. A seismic matchup. Yeah, Wagner won. I just saw that, man. Whoever picked Howard, whoever picked Howard, well, technically they're still alive because it's the first four game, and either team you get, it's just all trolls. Creighton too low in terms of teams people are picking. Well, maybe that's good value for you then. If you pick Creighton, I don't think Creighton's gonna win. You picked Howard. It's not. You didn't. There's no way you picked Howard. It's not possible. You pick whichever first four team is there. It doesn't really matter. What is your upset thought? What is your thought on the possible Texas A&M upset on Houston? I don't think it's very likely personally. Cornell, yes, Cornell is in this game. The logo for next year's Final Four was revealed. Oh, it's at the Alamo Dome, I think, right? I believe it's at the Alamo Dome, yes. Yeah, you're right. We don't need the spam, man. We don't need a troll spam about Longwood over Houston, brother. You joking about a 16 over a 1. Wow. Final four is Iowa State, North Carolina, Houston, Creighton. Yeah, I think that checks out as a pretty well scaled Final Four. I'll be honest. Auburn will beat UConn. It's possible. I don't think it's gonna happen, but it's possible. Do I follow hockey? Not really. Best Cinderella to the Elite Eight. Maybe New Mexico. Maybe New Mexico. You sent me an email with your bracket. All right, man. Who do you like beating Purdue? That's an interesting question, man. Who do I like beating? Well, people are going to think that's my normal bracket. So, Purdue, there's a few spots I think Purdue could lose. Obviously, I would be changing Kansas out. There's no way Kansas is, with their injuries, you wouldn't expect. I do think Purdue got a pretty good draw, man. Like, these teams are just weak, but obviously Tennessee could beat Purdue. Purdue could lose to a Utah State or a TCU. It would be surprising, but it's possible. I mean, it's just Purdue. It's like we're scarred from last year. Purdue losing to Utah State. Maybe I'll predict that tomorrow. People seem to like Utah State. A few people have told me about Utah State. Did you see the viral video saying Longwood can analytically beat Houston? I'm assuming that's a troll. First time viewer, yeah, you're trolling me. but I'll act. You want me to act I'll normally do? No, the analytics bracket is not my main bracket. Please, Lord help us. The best team below the 2 seed, below the 2 line. Well, it would probably be Auburn, who's a 4 seed. At least analytically, it would be Auburn. Yeah, I mean, the 4 seeds are pretty flawed. I guess Duke is another good 4 seed. Bama has no defense. Kansas is injured. Thoughts on South Florida not making it? It wasn't controversial. I know people were very surprised, like South Florida went way down, because technically South Florida was in the AP Top 25 in March. Like, they were like 24th. They just had horrible analytics. So, like, they had to win their conference tournament just because their analytics were so bad. Even with all of their wins that they had, I would have loved to have seen South Florida in as a 12 seed. There would be so many people picking South Florida to go really deep. But, you know, now they're irrelevant. Thoughts on Wisconsin? I'm not high on Wisconsin personally. I understand they did have a good run in the Big Ten tournament. What are you doing on the stream tomorrow? Tomorrow I'll just probably be doing more of the same. St. Mary's, Gonzaga, UConn, Houston. Very unlikely. Very unlikely. Implode FedEx Field, yes. Can I put the email in the... I don't know my exact email. I'd have to look it up. There's numbers involved, I believe. I've seen that the 15-2 upset has happened in the past 3 years. Who is the best one to pick? I think it would be Western Kentucky. Actually, analytically, is the best 15 seed. I think it would be Western Kentucky. That's who I picked. I picked Western Kentucky. How can we email you? You just send me an email. Now, man, if you go on desktop computer, Go over to my About section, and then you can see my email. Feelings on Dayton to the Final Four, it would be shocking. Favorite NFL team, Browns. Wagner only has 8 active players on their roster. Wow. If UConn loses to FAU, Auburn will be the national champion. That would certainly help them out significantly. Iowa State, North Carolina, Duke, Purdue, Final Four. Yeah, I mean, I don't hate it. I mean, I would not pick those teams, but in terms of seed wise, that's scaled pretty well. How did South Florida not make it? They just weren't even close to good enough analytically. You have to understand those teams, they play really bad non-conference schedules. You know Samford over Kansas. Oh, it could happen. I'm not going to change my bracket though. I mean, like I filled out a bracket. It is what it is. It's just my bracket. I mean, obviously the injury's tough. Grand Canyon Final Four. It would be amazing for college basketball. Would be amazing for college basketball. Footprint Center is worse than the Delta Center. No way, man. There's no way. Ohio State had a better argument. Yeah, well, there were a lot of teams that had a better argument over South Florida. I mean, I liked South Florida. It was just they did not. Like, I had to. Someone asked me to look up South Florida in terms of their analytical ranking, like a few weeks ago when they were still when we thought they were going to be in it, and I couldn't find them because I thought they were in like the 50s or 60s, and they were like 110th or something, or like 98th. Thoughts on Nebraska? Look, Nebraska. It's very hard to see because they're in an 8v9 game. If Nebraska was in a 7v10 game and they faced a 2 seed like Marquette, I could see it. Favorite team in college basketball? Listen, I don't really have a favorite team. Thoughts on Tropicana Field getting a renovation? It's getting a rebirthing. They're installing a retractable roof. You know they wanted to try and do that back in like early 2000s. Put a retractable roof on it. Defending national champs have not made it to the Sweet 16 since 2016. Yeah, I mean I certainly would expect UConn to break that curse because even if they lose to Auburn, they'd still have. I mean, they just have to beat Stenson and Northwestern or FAU. I mean, that's an interesting statistic. I'll give you that. Could see Stenson upset UConn. It's great thinking, man. You think Iowa State and Marquette will both go down? That would be crazy if two seeds lost, but I think they're both frauds as well. Have I been to Tropicana Field? Sadly, I have, yes. Maybe but when I was like 14 or 15, we were on vacation in Sarasota, Florida, and we went to St. Petersburg, and it's a circus stadium. You go inside the concourses, it's a circus. It's hilarious. Iowa State losing to Drake. Understandable. There were a lot of people that were selling me on that yesterday. Thoughts on the college football playoff expanding to 14 teams in 2026? Look, college football right now, I don't know if you guys have seen the story on Quinshon Judkins, who's now the Ohio State running back, putting out like a bounty for him to play in games, where on game day, he would say, you need to give me money or else I'm not playing. The state of college football is terrible. They're trying to do anything to be relevant. That's my take on college football. NIL, oh, if we give $5 million to a 16-year-old or 17-year-old that has zero, just no real life skills and is extremely immature, and you get these kids, the personalities, the egos are so inflated, it's very sad to see what happened to college football. But it's like, oh, we have to pay the kids. Yeah, let's give $5 million to a 17-year-old. I'm sure this is going to create a great environment to see this. Favorite sports stadium? Well, a stadium I really like is Busch Stadium. I think Busch Stadium does everything well. Everything. Exterior, interior, community, right outside it. The new Cardinals Nation, the bleacher seats across the street. Obviously Busch Stadium would not be the best. I would say Fenway, but I think Busch Stadium is underrated. But everyone would just say Fenway or something. I want to give a different answer. South Florida is on the road in the NIT. How the mighty have fallen. Thoughts on what 8-9 seed could potentially knock off a 1 seed? You know what? I actually think it might be Utah State. It might actually be Utah State. Think the Zags got a run in them? Personally, I don't. Not this year. Too many people picking McNeese. You know what? I'm getting a bad vibe about Florida as well. I'm getting a bad vibe about Florida with the amount of people picking them. UConn is 95% chance to beat any 1 seed. No, that's not true. To beat any other 1 seed? There's no way that's true. LeBron fan. I'm actually, I was happy when LeBron came back and everything. I was more of a fan of Kyrie personally than LeBron. Just because, when Kyrie was drafted, I was younger and it just aligned better. I was really young when LeBron was in Cleveland, his first time in Cleveland. You got Colorado to the Sweet 16. Well, technically you have Colorado or Boise State, because you really can't pick, at least on ESPN's format. Maybe are you on CBS's? Oh, you know what? I think you can go on other, CBS has a bracket thing. Who else does? Maybe Sleeper, they were saying, has one. I think Izzo could take down North Carolina. It's not likely, but it could happen. UConn, 95% chance to beat any 16 seed. No, they have a 99% chance, or 98, I think. Oh, you're talking about UConn against any other 16 seed? Well, obviously, every 16 seed is going to have a very small chance. Are you bringing back the 365-team March Madness bracket? That was crazy when I did that. Thoughts on your Final Four? Auburn, New Mexico, Houston, Tennessee. That's a zesty Final Four, man. I have to say I like it. It's unlikely to happen, but I understand. You know what? New Mexico might be the new trendy pick. Why are there so many Auburn? Auburn has amazing analytics. That's why they're legitimately, I think, the 4th best team in college basketball or the 5th best team, and they're a 4 seed. That's why. But it would be a lot worse if Auburn was in another region. Everyone would be picking Auburn if they were in another region. They kind of get blocked by UConn. Capital One bracket. What is that for CBS? Is that CBS's things? Yeah, I agree. Stop the spam, man. New Mexico beating Arizona. It's possible. Thoughts on Pitt from this season? I thought Pitt could have made the tournament really good close to the season. The ACC is not great, but that's a season that Pitt can build on. Thoughts on UConn, St. Mary's, Houston, Creighton? Yeah, I would probably switch out Creighton. I mean, St. Mary's is kind of your wild pick. Houston and UConn are your one seeds for stability, and then actually, I don't hate that. I don't hate it. If you want to go with it, that's fine. Everyone is picking New Mexico, and as a New Mexico alum, you don't like it, you play better. Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, that tends to happen. I mean, it seems to be happening with New Mexico, but New Mexico is a little bit different. That's a 6v11 game. Normally, it's the 5v12 games. Am I filing taxes this year? Yes, I am. How much will Florida be affected by the injury? Marginally. Not, he's their fifth best player. Yes, of course it's going to affect them to a degree, but their best players are guards. You worry about... Oh my god. Well, we just got nuked. Pitt's non-conference schedule was ranked 322. Who else has a terrible non-con... Oh, Iowa State had a terrible non-conference schedule. Do I think Purdue will crush their... I'm not sure what that means. Do you think Texas could make a run? I do think Texas could make a run. They have a guard, I mean, that kid, the kid from Asmus, the kid from Oral Roberts, I don't know how he's still in college. It's amazing, but they have potential. Tennessee lost some games towards the end of the season. I don't know. Coin flip? Yeah, you can see my coin flip if you want, man. Yeah, people are going to think this is a real bracket, though. That's the problem. Oh, man. Thoughts on St. John's not making the tournament? They should have made it over Virginia. Yeah, when I got banned from the Ohio State fan base, that might be the weirdest thing. You know what? I would love to just know who that individual is. Not because I have animosity, just because it was such a weird thing. It's probably like a 13-year-old, but it's just weird. Do you think Alabama can make a run? It's unlikely. It's unlikely. Lowest scoring round one game with Virginia. Remember, I only had one. Well, how did I finish in the like 88th percentile if I only had one of my Elite Eight picks? That doesn't make any sense. I finished in the 88th percentile. You realize that. Thoughts on Charleston? I can understand. Listen, I just don't think Charleston matches up well against Bama in terms of Bama is just going to be able to outscore Charleston. That's my take. It'll be 100-86. Colorado State or Virginia? I'd go Colorado State slightly. Thoughts on Duquesne? They're the GOAT. You can't watch March Madness for free. I think you got to have some type of subscription probably. Thoughts on Tennessee losing the first or second game? They make me nervous with their squad from 2019 was better. Yeah, but I don't think you can compare 2019 to where we are now. You're overthinking it, making useless comparisons. The team's completely different. I mean, I understand if you want to look last year and say Purdue is like the same team and they lost. I can understand that. Going back to 2019, I think is irrelevant. You could say, well, it's the coach, but I don't know. Yeah, Villanova. Yeah, Villanova should have. Villanova was 18-15. They almost lost to DePaul. Do you have a group? Yeah, I'll give my group one last time here. I will go ahead and give my group one last time, and then I believe we did. I was told we hit 1,000 members. We do have 1,000 members now. We have to be one of the trendy groups at this point. It is amazing. And I will give you the link right here. And if I win this is actually impressive because this is 1,000 people. The message was pinned. That bracket was just that bracket that was just on the screen was a coin flip bracket. You like Aloha Stadium? I think Aloha Stadium is a danger. Like, you can't even play in it anymore. It was cracking or something. That they had to stop playing there. That's why. Or something like that. I don't know. It's a decrepit stadium. It's old. Morehead State over Illinois. The last 3 Big Ten tournament winners lost in round 1 or 2. Yeah, I'm not high on trends like that. That's just a 3-year period. You know, but it's like, so what happens if Illinois goes deep this year? It's like, you know, I need a longer trend, you know. But I appreciate the knowledge there. Why aren't more people talking about Drake to the Elite Eight? Well, because there's so many teams to pick from. How many people were there last year? I don't even think I did one last year, honestly. Aloha Stadium is good. They need to fix it. No, it's multi-purpose. The design of it is terrible. Updated bracket. Dustin, I'll be coming out with a new bracket. I bought ESPN Plus, and I'll be revealing, and the way I'll be picking it tomorrow, it's a new bracket. It's not my main, it's just, you know, not my main bracket. It's not, you know, but tomorrow I'll be doing a new bracket, and I probably will be picking Kansas to lose right away in it. Iowa State is on Fraud Watch, yes. Chances of Duquesne beating BYU, very low. Very, very low. Thoughts on Drake, Iowa State? Listen, I like Drake in that matchup. I do. Check to see if they added Wagner. All right, man. We will check that. And then that is going to... they'll probably have to do it tomorrow. They'll do it tonight, probably. They will probably add it. But, guys, that is going to do it for this live stream. Probably, yes, I will be on tomorrow at 7 o'clock. I know people sent me their brackets. They want me to review them. It is not... you don't have to finalize your bracket until Thursday. So tomorrow you can still fill out your bracket. Even going into Thursday until noon, you can still fill it out and things like that. Am I going to get a sports watching setup? It is not right now. It is very unlikely now. That is going to do it, guys.